Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel. Very quick video for you today. We're going to take a look at a little on-camera microphone that I picked up after seeing it mentioned in one of Gene Nagata Potato Jet's most recent vlogs. Let's get right into it. So this is the Movo VXR10. Reason I'm taking a look at this, $40 over on Amazon, whereas some other miniature microphones like this usually range $50 plus. This one's $40 and sometimes less than that. And yes, before you ask, I do already have two other microphones that are very similar to this. This is the Comica CVM-VM10 and of course the Rode Videomicro. I use both of those pretty regularly whenever I'm on the go, if I'm carrying a camera like the Sony A6600 along with me. And as you can probably see, I do have a separate microphone on the Sony right now. This is the Sony ECM-XYST1M stereo microphone. It's actually completely powered off of the hot shoe here, but this is like a $150 mic, $100 to $150, I think. So realistically, I'm just curious how good this is going to be. From Potato Jet's video, from Gene's video, it sounded really impressive. They compared it to the Rode Videomic Pro Plus, ridiculously long name, I don't know. They compared it to a several $100 microphone, and this one still sounded really good in out and about scenarios. So let's just check it out and compare. Inside of the box, it does mention here on the top, there's a 2-year warranty. And there's actually a list of everything that comes in the box right here. We'll just open it and see. So there it is. You get all that traditional paperwork, are you happy or not, and the quick start guide and everything. The microphone with an attached windscreen, which you can of course remove. And that's actually quite the chunky microphone. Just putting it up right next to the Rode Videomicro, you can see the capsule at the end does look quite a bit bigger. Might just be differences in design, but I'm curious to see how it sounds different. This also came with not one, but 2 shock mounts. For the price point, of course, you would expect it to come with one, but it comes with a second in case the first breaks. That's pretty nice. You get 2 separate audio cables. One is designed for the camera that has the springy cable with it, TRS to TRS. And the second cable is the TRS to TRRS, or the microphone to smartphone, tablet, whatever happens to have one of these headphone jacks, microphone ports. Not terribly commonplace anymore. And then the last thing in here, aside from the silica gel, is a carrying pouch, which you may or may not ever use, but I think I will go ahead, put this on here. This is what it's going to look like sitting on top of the camera. As you can see here, there is a little bit more of an indentation here where it's supposed to fit. It looks like if you stretch it, you could probably move it back, but I don't think that I would. And of course you have your cold shoe mount, you have a tripod mount, and then here's your 3.5mm jack on the back. And as we saw earlier, you can just put this windscreen on if you're outside, if you're in a place that's windy and you want to use that. Otherwise, you could leave it off for indoor. If you're gonna have this up closer to you vlogging or something, I probably would still put this on, because even moving a camera around without it, you can get some wind just from kind of whipping the camera around. So let's test this puppy out and compare it to a couple of other microphones. And here we go. This is the Sony A6600 using the internal microphone. The volume level is set to 20. It does default to 26, so I do have it turned down a little bit because I did have a microphone on there earlier. But this is what you can expect to get without a microphone attached, and I am approximately 18 inches away from the camera. This is the Sony A6600 with the ECM-XYST1M stereo microphone, again about 18 inches away from the camera. The audio settings still set to manual, set to the level 20 inside of the camera. This is the Sony A6600 using the Rode Videomicro, set to level 20 inside of the camera. So again, testing, just want to see how this works and how this compares to the upcoming Movo, which I'm going to be removing this small dead cat from. This is the Comica microphone, the VM10, which I mentioned earlier. Again, sitting on top of the camera. The camera is approximately 18 inches away from me, here in my studio setup in the basement. And finally, here we have the Movo VXR10 microphone attached to the Sony A6600. I am again about 18 inches away from the camera. No other settings inside the camera have been changed. It's still level 20, and I can see the volume meters on the screen on the camera look to be about the same, but we'll have to take the footage over to the computer, put on some really good headphones, and see how they compare. And the initial video has been edited, as you can probably see behind me. And I did completely forget to mention all the specifications. So if you're curious about it, it is an electret condenser transducer. It has a cardioid polar pattern, 35 to 18 kilohertz, negative 42 decibels of sensitivity, 76 decibels of SPL signal to noise ratio, and a net weight of 86 grams. All in all, just looking at the comparison, all the different audio samples I did earlier, I still very much like the way that the Sony microphone works, in that I can just clip it to the top of this camera and not have to worry about having a cable or anything. But the audio quality out of this, for the price paid, there's a lot of background hiss, With other Sony cameras I've tested, you can't actually control the volume level with this microphone, and I'm guessing that's what's happening with the 6600, although it does give me the option to change the volume level with this one. So I like the way that that works compared to the other three, which are all exactly the same in terms of form factors. So you attach to the top of the camera, put a 3.5mm cable, and then attach to the side of the camera with that. Although keep in mind with this Sony one, you can also do that. It has a 3.5mm output as well, but that's another thing you have to keep up with. Anyway, comparing the audio samples themselves. A lot of background hiss in the Sony microphone. The other three, there was still some background hiss, but it wasn't all that bad. Very usable, especially if you're not listening to it with headphones, and a lot of the people that watch videos on YouTube now don't use headphones all the time. But of the three, just listening to my own voice, and everybody's voice is different, everyone's opinion of the sound is different, my personal opinion on it, I actually like the Movo the best. The Rode feels a little bit more tinny, it doesn't have a whole lot of bass to it. The Comica microphone had a lot of bass to it, my opinion, my voice, which sounds okay, but it's a little bit overpowering, especially for something like this, just talking head vlog style. The Movo mic felt like it had kind of the best of both worlds. So you have a good quality sound with a little bit of bass to it, a little bit of the deeper part of my voice coming through, but it's not overpowering. It's not thump, 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 thump in your ear. Add to that the fact that it came with an additional shock mount. I'm definitely a big fan of that. And the windscreen. The windscreen that came with the Comica was absolutely horrible. So I actually have been using the windscreen from another one of my Rode micros with it. I had the Rode Videomicro Me that you would attach directly to a smartphone before. Most of my smartphones don't have the ability to use that anymore, so I've been using that with the Comica. This one is as good a quality as you'd find from the Rode, except that it sheds. So all of my working desk over there is covered in fluff right now because this is brand new, so I just need to like brush it off and everything. But I'm a big fan. I mean, for the price point that I paid, and I did pay for this out of pocket after watching Gene's video on it, I would say that I'm a big fan of it. It's a big plus, and always nice to have a secondary mic, a backup, just in case when you're out and about, one of the other ones breaks or you miss a cable or any sort of number of things. So I'm gonna put a link to where you can find it, and probably links to the other mics that I mentioned, including this one, down in the video description if you're interested. Thank you guys as always for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified when there's new videos that come out. There's a little bell down there. I can also put a link to the video about the Comica microphone. I just looked and that was out in 2017. So that's been 3 years since I made that video. I never made one about the Rode Videomicro because it came along with one of my other cameras, I think the A6400, and I actually never made a video about this Sony microphone either. I probably ought to do one, just a quick video about it at some point. But anyway, rambling on entirely too much. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.